everyone, it's Melanie from the Midland Public Library Maker Place, and we're making your winters a little cozier with our Snug Saturdays. To make your sweater pillow, you will need a pillow and a sweater. Whichever one you have first will determine the size you need in the other. For example, I started with a sweater that belonged to my late grandfather, so the width of the sweater and the length from underarm to hem determined the pillow size I needed to fill it. If you have a pillow already, the size of that pillow dictates what size sweater you need to pick up from a thrift store or wherever. Pullover sweaters work best for this project, but you can use a button-up if you're willing to take on the extra steps of closing the front up as well. You also need some kind of sewing apparatus, whether that's needle and thread or a sewing machine. If you're using any embellishments like buttons or beads, you'll need those on hand, and you'll need a pair of scissors. The first step in making your pillow is to lay your sweater flat and cut across from underarm to underarm. If you want to do this with a ruler, you can. My sweater came with a handy pattern change, so I didn't have to. Then you want to turn it inside out. Your next step is to stitch across where you just cut. If you're doing this by hand, I recommend using a blanket stitch, and there are lots of resources online to help you if you need to learn it. You could also use a serger if you have one. The Maker Place has both a sewing machine and a serger, so if you'd like to come in, please email for details. Now go ahead and turn that back to right side out and fit your pillow in, and then your final step is to close the bottom somehow. For my pillow, I've decided to close it by sewing buttons along the bottom. You could simply sew it shut by stitching straight across, or if you wanted to get really fancy, you could make buttonholes and put actual functioning buttons on it, which would make the covering easily removable for washing if you're worried about kids or pets. Buttonholes are the bane of my crafting existence, so I'm just sewing buttons straight through both sides, and since no one wants to sit here and watch me do that 7 times, let's move on to the finished product.